Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, lecturer and everyone. On this occasion, our group will present a case of manipulation of 2018 financial statement of PT Garuda Indonesia Persero Tbk. Before we begin, allow me introduce of group member. First, Ainun Naila. Second, Raina Shifa. Third, Ristiani Amelia Putri. And last, Anidia Syahyani. Table of content. First, company profile. Background, chronology the scandal, financial statement manipulation, types of accounting violation, main cause of the case, lesson learned, recommendation, and last conclusion.
My name is Ainun Naila. Okay, the first I will explain about a company profile. Garuda Indonesia is the national flag carrier airliner of Indonesia and one of the most well-known aviation companies in South Asia. The company was officially established on January 26, 1949, shortly after Indonesia gained independence. The name Garuda was inspired by the mythical bird in Indonesia culture and was introduced by Sukarno, the first president of Indonesia. Since its establishment, Garuda Indonesia has become an important symbol of national identity and Indonesia hospitality. The headquarters of Garuda Indonesia is located near Soekarno-Hatta International Airport in Tangerang, Banten. The airliner operates domestic and international flight connection many cities in Asia, Australia, the Middle East, and Europa. Besides passenger transportation, Garuda Indonesia also provides cargo service and aviation support service. The company owns several subsidiaries, include CityLink as a low-cost airline and GMF Aero Asia aircraft maintenance and engineer service. In 2011, Garuda Indonesia became a public company listed on the Indonesia Stock Exchange under the stock code GEAA. The airline gained international recognition for its service quality and received several awards, including recognition for having one of the world's best cabin crew by Secretariat. Garuda Indonesia is also known for introducing the Garuda Indonesia Experience, and a service concept that combines Indonesia culture, hospitality, food, and tradition during flights. However, despite its achievement and strong reputation, the company has faced many financial and operational challenges over the years. High operational costs, increasing debt, increasing competition from low-cost airliner, fuel price fluctuation, and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic significantly affected the company's financial condition. In addition, Garuda Indonesia also faced accounting the corporate governance issue that attracted public attention, especially the 2018 financial statement scandal. Even with this challenge, Garuda Indonesia remains one of Indonesia's most important state-owned enterprises in the aviation industry and continues to improve its performance through restructuring and recovery efforts. And the next case background, in 2019, Garuda Indonesia became involved a major accounting scandal related to its 2018 financial statement. The company announced a net profit of approximately $809 to sound thousand, even though it had experienced major loss in previous years. In 2017, Garuda Indonesia recorded loss of around 216 million, so the Sweden changed from a large loss to a profit lesson surprising. The controversy mainly involved the rationing of approximately 239 million in revenue from a cooperation agreement with PT Mahata Aero Technology regarding in-flight Wi-Fi and entertainment system. Garuda Indonesia reasoned in the revenue even though the payment had not been fully received and the transaction was well disputed. According to accounting standard, revenue should only be recognized when there is scrutiny regarding payment and taxation completion. Because of this issue, many parties believe the company violated proper accounting principles. The scandal became more serious when the Commission of the Garuda Indonesia refused to sign financial statement because they disagree with the revenue recognition process. Their refusal attracted public attention and contract regarding transparency, ethics, and corporate governance with the company. As public critics increased, the Financial Services Authority (OJK) and the Indonesia Stock Exchange atau BEI conducted investigation into the case. After the investigation, regulator concluded that Garuda Indonesia had violated accounting standards and required the company to revise and restate its 2018 financial statement. After the correction, the company no longer reported a profit, but instead recorded a financial loss. The scandal damaged the company's reputation, reduced public trust, and became one of the most well-known accounting scandals in Indonesia. This case also highlighted the importance of transparency, ethical behavior, and accurate financial reporting in maintaining investor confidence and corporate credibility.
Thank you for attention and the opportunity given. We apologize for any shortcoming and we welcome criticism and suggestion for future improvements. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, next, chronology of the scandal. April 1, 2019, Garuda released its 2018 financial report showing a profit of $809,000 deficit, having previously suffered massive loss. April 2019, the Board of Commission refused to sign the financial report due to alleged violation of PSAK standard related to the Mahata Partnership. April 30, 2019, the Indonesia Stock Exchange summoned Garuda Management and Auditor for an investigation. May 2, 2019, the Financial Services Authority (OJK) requested verification regarding alleged financial statement manipulation. May 8, 2019, Mahata acknowledged owing $239 million to Garuda. May 31, 2019, the House of Representatives summoned Garuda regarding alleged misclassification in the financial statement. June 14, 2019, the Ministry of Financial found violation of the Standard on Professional Accounting Practice (SPAP) by the auditor and the accounting firm. Last June 29, 2019, the Ministry of Finance and the OJK declared Garuda 2018 financial statement defective and imposed sanctions. Okay, next, financial statement manipulation. Detail of the manipulation that occurred. First, amount of income claimed. The amount of revenue recognized by Garuda in the financial statement, namely revenue from its collaboration with Mahata. For example, Garuda record revenue from its collaboration with PT Mahata Aero Technology of approximately 239.9 US dollar million in its 2018 financial statement. This figure made the company profit appear better than it actually was. 2. Actual condition. In reality, the funds are still receivable and have not yet become cash inflow. For example, the funds from Mahata had not actually been received by Garuda when the report was prepared, so in substance, they are still receivable, not realized revenue. Therefore, the company actual condition is still significant loss, not a profit as some. 3. PNP should be recorded according to the substance of the transaction, not directly as revenue, because there is no sufficiently strong economic realization. For example, the transaction should be recorded as receivable or an account that conforms to its economic substance, rather than directly included as revenue. This method will ensure financial statements are more honest and will not mislead users. Next, violation of standard. Violation accounting principle and standard because revenue is recognized prematurely. For example, Garuda was deemed to have violated PSAK by recognizing revenue before the right to the revenue was clear and could be reliably measured. This led to the 2018 financial statement being deemed unsalable and sparking controversy. Last, sanction. The Financial Services Authority, or OJK, the Ministry of Finance, and the Indonesia Stock Exchange, or IDX, imposed sanctions in the form of fines and administrative action on Garuda and related parties. For example, the OJK imposed fines on Garuda, its director, and the commissaries who signed the financial report. And the government also requests revision to the report. This case also impact investor confidence and the company reputation.
My name is Anidia Syahyani. The main issue occurred in the 2018 financial statement. Garuda Indonesia was accused of violating Indonesian standard by recognizing revenue that should not have been recorded. Type of accounting violation in the Garuda Indonesian case. Imported revenue recognition. Garuda Indonesia recorded revenue from a cooperation agreement with Mahata Aero Technology. However, the payment had not been fully deciphered and there was still uncertainty regarding the contract. According to accounting standard, the revenue should not have been recognized at the time. Financial statement manipulation. By recording the revenue, the company changed financial statement manipulation. By recording the revenue, the company changed its financial position from a loss into a reported profit. This made the company appear financially healthier than it actually was. 3. Violation of transparency and fair representation principle. The financial statement did not accurately reflect the company's real financial condition. This violated principle of transparency, accountability, honesty, and fair presentation in corporate governance. 4. Violation of Financial Accounting Standard or PSAK or IFRS-based standard, especially standard related to revenue recognition. Both management and auditor suffered criticism for approving the statement. Otoritas Jasa Keuangan and the Kementerian Keuangan Republik Indonesia imposed administrative sanction. The company reputation and public trust declined. The case became an example of weak corporate governance and unethical accounting practice. The next, main cause of Garuda Indonesian case. A. Pressure to show positive financial performance. Garuda Indonesia was facing financial difficulties and wanted to appear financially stable to investors, the government, and the public. Therefore, the company appointed to report a profit instead of a loss. B. Weak corporate governance. Internal supervision and control mechanism were not effective. Some commissaries actually rejected the financial statement because they believed the report were inappropriate, but the statement were still published. C. Lack of professional accounting ethic. Accounting ethic required integrity, objective, professionalism, and independency. These ethical principles are considered properly implemented in the case. D. Management personnel and corporate integrity. Management was suspected of trying to maintain the company reputation, investor confidence, and stock value. As a result, accounting was suspect of trying to maintain the company reputation, investor confidence, and stock value. As a result, accounting decision become less objective.
My name is Raina Sifadaniati. On this slide, we can see several important lessons learned from the Garuda Indonesia accounting scandal. First, the case showed the importance of professional ethics in accounting and auditing, because ethical behavior is the foundation of trustworthy financial reporting. Second, strong internal control systems are essential to prevent fraud, manipulation, and unauthorized financial reporting practice. Third, transparency and honesty in management must always be upheld so that financial statements truly reflect the company's actual financial condition. In addition, every figure present in the financial statement must be verifiable, accountable, and supportable by valid evidence. The case also teaches us that accountant and auditor must maintain independence, integrity, and the courage to reject any instruction that violates accounting principle or professional standard. Furthermore, clear communication between management, auditor, and regulator is very important to ensure compliance and avoid misunderstanding. Lastly, corporate governance must continue to be strengthened in the order to minimize risk caused by unethical decision making. On this slide, we present several recommendations to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. First, companies should enhance. On this slide, we present several recommendations to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. First, companies should enhance internal control and audit procedure to ensure that all financial activities are conducted according to established standards. Second, companies need to provide regular ethics and compliance training for employees, especially for those involved in financial reporting and auditing. Third, implementing a strong whistleblowing system is important so employees can safely and anonymously report suspicious activities. In addition, strict sanctions and legal consequences should be enforced for individuals involved in accounting lesion to discourage future misconduct. Companies should also conduct periodic evaluation and monitoring to ensure compliance with accounting standards such as PSEK and corporate governance guidelines. Another recommendation is to improve transparency in contractual agreement to avoid demand, revenue recognition, or financial misreporting. Finally, companies should engage independent external auditor to conduct unbiased review of financial statement and internal practice.